When you're building a business, you want to show up as the expert that you actually are. But there's always something in your workflow that keeps getting in the way. Maybe it's a manual task that you do that eats up hours every week. Maybe it's a clunky system you've been working around forever because you never found the right tool. Instead of cobble together workarounds, what if you could build exactly what you needed? That's what this video is about. I'm going to show you how I used a vibe coding tool called Replit to build a custom solution for a problem I've been struggling with. Yep, even though I have no coding experience. Thanks to Replit for sponsoring this video. And by the end, you'll see how you could easily do the same thing for whatever's been slowing your business down too. So first up, let's pick a problem to solve. A task that you notice eating up a ton of your valuable time every single week. For me, that was trying to stay on top of AI news. My system was chaos. Newsletters piling up in my inbox, screenshots saved and forgotten, scrolling TikTok for hours looking for something useful to create content about, no way to prioritize, no way of knowing if something was worth covering or just hype. And all I felt was a constant low-level guilt that I should be doing more. I tried apps, folders, systems other people swore by, and none of it stuck because none of it was built for how I actually work. So I stopped trying to piece things together and I stopped looking for the perfect app. I decided to build exactly what I needed. Whatever problem you just thought of, that's what we're going to solve. And here's the thing, building it wasn't even the part that changed everything, but we'll get to that. So how do we actually do this? Normally, this is the part where you'd Google how to build an app, open a YouTube tutorial, and immediately feel out of your depth. None of it makes sense, so you close the tab and add it to the list of projects that you'll get back to sometime. But that's not how we do things anymore. Now, the first step of building our app is actually really exciting. You're going to start off in Claude and use natural language to map out your app. I used a prompt where I gave Claude my idea and then got Claude to ask me questions so it could really understand what I needed. The features, the workflow, and how I wanted it to look. You can download a copy of the prompt, link is in the description. Then I simply answered the questions for Claude and let it do all of the heavy lifting for me. It created all of the mockups, all of the screens, including the dashboard, login, settings page, and it even had an architecture diagram done up. Seeing it visually felt exciting and let me make changes to the design and flow before anything was built in Replit. You want to look closely at the mockups and really make sure it looks and flows how you want. For example, on my first try in Claude, I noticed there was a section in the dashboard for filters that really didn't need to be there, and that was taking up space. So I got Claude to remove it here and update the files. You can refine your app in Replit later, but I find it's just a little smoother if we do it in Claude first. After Claude created the blueprint, I downloaded them and brought it into Replit. In Replit, it was as easy as uploading all of the files from Claude. Then switching to plan mode first. This allows you to see what Replit's plan is before we build it. Next, select the type of app I wanted to build, which in this case was a web app, and then hit the start button. You can then review the plan and make changes. Otherwise, it's time to start building and let Replit get to work. I could see it creating the pages and building the app right in front of my eyes. 30 minutes later, I had a working dashboard, custom built for my workflow. No overwhelm, no abandoned project, just done. And I could just test it out. To make any change, for example, changing the color scheme to something more cozy, I just asked for it in the chat and Replit made the change in real time. If there was something missing from my original mockups, like the upload function, I just asked Replit for it in the chat and Replit got it to work. When I found a bug, I described the problem and asked Replit to fix it. And it did. Like magic. Once I had finished testing the dashboard and was happy with how it looked and worked, then came the part I was dreading, getting it live on the internet. All the technical stuff that feels so overwhelming. I assumed this would be the hard part, figuring out hosting, servers, and buying a domain name, or the behind the scenes stuff that sounds expensive and confusing. I simply asked Replit to deploy the app. It asked me one question: what URL do you want? I typed in a name and gave Replit permission to launch it. That was it. Within minutes, I had a live URL for my news dashboard. I could open it on any device and start using it straight away. No separate hosting fees, no configuration headaches. No, this is too technical, I'll figure it out later. And never coming back to it again. You build it, you click deploy, and it's live. So I built my news dashboard, but building it is one thing. Actually using it is another. Would this change my mornings or just sit there collecting dust? Each morning now, I open the news dashboard, The latest AI news is sorted, summarized, and ranked by what's actually worth paying attention to. If something looks like a video idea, one click and it's in my Notion content calendar. In the past, I've downloaded apps, I've tried other people's workflows, and none of it stuck. But when you vibe code something yourself, you can tailor it to how you want to work. And when something isn't working how you want it to, you simply open Replit and ask it to adapt it. That's what changed everything. That's the opposite to every other tool where you have to adapt to it. And that's the real shift. I don't just have a working dashboard now, I have a different relationship with every bottleneck in my business. That clunky client onboarding process, that's not something to work around anymore. It's something I could vibe code a solution for. Whatever's been slowing you down, the manual task, the system that almost works but not quite, you don't have to keep suffering with it. You can vibe code exactly what you need. That's the magic that changed everything. Replit have different plans to get you started quickly. Check out the link in the description to learn more. Now that you've seen how I vibe coded a tool to fix my own workflow and bottlenecks, what if you could do the same thing for your website? Yep, vibe code a sales page or landing page, even if you don't know how to design. Watch this next video to see how I vibe coded a custom sales page in Replit that actually looks really good and works the way I need it to as well, and how you can do it too.